Hello, my name is Kimberly Santos, and I am a third year teacher at Tampa Bay Technical High School. And today I will be talking about family engagement and involvement in the classroom. All right, we will start off by watching this video.
And to close gaps in student achievement, we often assume school is the main place that learning is going to happen. Take Esma. It used to seem to her family and her educators that Esma is always at school. Not true, it turns out. Esma and other students actually spend 82% of their waking hours at home or in their community. All those weekends, weeknights, and breaks add up. When they realized that, the educators in Esma's school district decided to work harder on making the most of the biggest partner in her learning life, her family. This can look different in every school, but for Esma's teacher, it means instead of spending his time arranging a traditional open house, he organizes grade-level parent meetings. Here, Esma's family saw data on how the class is doing in math, reading, social, and emotional learning. They practiced new ways to help Esma at home and set goals for how they'll help her improve. Everyone learned from each other as the group talked about how to help the students. Also, near the start of the school year, some staff from Esma's school visited her home. They looked for the assets her family members can bring to the educational process. They learned about their languages, their culture, their lives, their world. Grandpa offered to be a resource for other English learner families, and the school also listened and learned from the family's perspective on Esma's needs. They learned how Mom helps her calm down and focus. This kind of family engagement also makes it easier for the district to develop individualized education programs for students, including those in special education. The foundation is already there for families to engage in their students' academic and career planning too, making that more effective. Throughout the year, the family can attend workshops at the school on things like mental health, homework, or career exploration. Esma's mom saw those meetings on a poster in her work break room, and now she's inviting other parent friends to go with her. Esma's school district works with local businesses, places of worship, the public library, and other partners to reach students and families where they're already spending time. The school provides information frequently in a variety of ways so they can reach every family. Text messages are offered in the most common languages of local families. Esma's family gets photos from her teacher so they know what she's doing during the day. Communication between the school and the family is a group effort, focused on helping Esma achieve her learning goals. When Esma wasn't sure what to do on a science assignment, her family knew to contact the teacher for a little clarification. Educators take a positive approach as they look for solutions to any challenges experienced on either side. They're always looking for the family's strengths. Also, when Mom mentions that Esma has trouble making friends, the teacher knows to refer her to the school counselor. The counselor then helps the family join a local Boys and Girls Club with lots of activities for Esma. The teacher knew to do this because the school counselor led staff trainings on resources available in the community and how to help families access them. There's no danger of a family like Esma's ever feeling like an occasional onlooker. The school knows what families have to offer, and the family knows what's going on in the classroom and how to support it. They feel they're active and regular collaborators and decision makers. The district gives families opportunities to learn how to help children succeed at each level of the school system and to serve on school groups. At school gatherings, Esma's adult stepsister and close next-door neighbor also feel included in the community. Staff at the school are trained to be as inclusive as possible, welcoming as learning partners anyone who cares about the child. Esma's school has moved from parent involvement to family engagement. Not surprisingly, engaged families help students learn better. Staff members like their jobs better. Everyone wins. This is backed up by over 40 years of research. Students with engaged families, no matter their income, background, or culture, are more likely to do well in school, enroll in ambitious courses, graduate, and go on to post-secondary education. They also have stronger social skills and fewer disciplinary issues. So how do we make it happen? First, we work to make the shift across an entire school district. Sure, at the elementary level, Esma's classroom teacher is the main person her family interacts with at school, but as she gets older and her schooling more complex, collaboration is definitely bigger than one person. Really, all along the way, the family's interactions with pretty much everyone in connection with the school, from office staff to after-school staff, from bus drivers to principals, will need to be positive for them to truly feel welcomed. So it's a clear expectation in the district. Every employee has a role in helping every family feel connected to their child's learning, no matter what building or classroom that child attends. In Esma's district, a broad team that included school psychologists, social workers, counselors, families, general and special educators, and after-school program staff helped everyone in the school take family engagement to this next level in a way that works for their community. It worked. Esma's family feels like a valued member of the team. Esma, her family, and her educators feel confident that she is learning and happy at school. We have more information about how schools and families can effectively engage with each other around students' learning on our website.
All right, that video was provided by the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction, and they really hit it on the head with what's important and how we are able to work together as one unit in order to achieve student success.
And to close gaps in student achievement.
Okay. All right, let's take a step back though. So, one big issue that I have noticed in a secondary classroom is that parents don't know how to help their child. So parents are struggling with knowing the technology. So at my school, we just recently switched learning platforms. If anyone is familiar with Edsby, that is what we had within the last 5 years. And this year we switched to Canvas. And if you've ever worked with either of those, they are very different from one another. Canvas is a lot more advanced, a little bit more difficult to navigate, and we all were struggling to really understand what was happening. I, as an educator, received plenty of training from the district, but it's not something that I saw reciprocated equally to the parents. So parents can't really know what's going on in their students' classrooms, especially now with e-learning, if they can't even get onto the platform. General computer literacy, everything now with the pandemic and e-learning being universal and across the board, just having general knowledge of a computer and technology is really going to give you a step ahead. And as students, they use different programs in the classroom. In my classroom, we use Explore Learning, we use Gizmos, we use Clever, Quizlet, and it's one thing to ask a parent to understand one platform and then throw 10 other programs per subject in their face and expecting them to understand it. Knowing the material is also difficult. As the students get older, their parent familiarity with course content is going to change. I am a biology teacher, but I cannot help my child with physics, or I'm not able to help my child with their geometry homework because it's something that I don't understand. I don't remember it, and it's not something that I can easily pick up to help them. But what I've noticed in my classroom specifically is that parents don't know what resources are available to them and their child. So the school offers tutoring, but students can't go to tutoring if they don't know the schedule or where to report to. They don't know what other resources they have. So if you have a student that they are ELLs and their parents don't speak English, it's important that they know that there is an ESOL representative, an ESOL teacher on campus to be able to translate, communicate, and just aid their child through their schoolwork. And as a teacher, there's a lot that we struggle with that I know I am not 100% my effective self in order to communicate with parents. You know, the pandemic has been very stressful nowadays, and I think now more than ever it is important that we work together. So, the first step that needs to happen is you need to gauge your audience. You need to know what's happening at schools. So parents need to take a survey so you understand what they're seeing and what they know is available to them. You also need to gauge your teachers and see what resources they're providing or what is the expectation set by the school. In the teacher survey, in the first portion of it, I believe it's the first 5 questions that I've provided a sample of, You answer the questions, and each question correlates to a point value. If your school is if your score after that first section is less than 10, you need to take a step back and really develop a plan, because it is evident that your school does not have one. So it is important to see where you're at, see where your parents are at, and from there move forward. Why does this matter? What is the point? In reality, we see these students every day, but at least for me in a secondary classroom, I see these students for 47 minutes, 5 days a week. I don't even see them for 5 hours a week. These students spend more time at home than they do at school. Parents are the key force that see them. They see when they're doing their homework, they see what time they get off the bus, they see and hear about the relationships they have at school. Parents are essential to help build healthy self-esteem for their child. If the student has good self-esteem at home, they're going to have good self-esteem at school. Statistically speaking, when you have parents be more involved, you're going to have less behavior issues in the classroom. These students are going to become more successful because their parents know what they're doing and they're active and involved in their success. Family participation is more important than socioeconomic status. We have, at my school, we are a Title I school. About 86% of our students are on free reduced lunch. They take a bus from all over the district to come to our school. Some students get on the bus at 5:50 in the morning and they do not get off until 6:30 in the afternoon. They could be so poor, but because their families are involved and are active and engaged in their learning, the student is already a lot more successful than someone who is in a higher tax bracket and their parents just say hello and goodbye to them and don't even know their teachers' names. So how can we work together? Most importantly, as a teacher, I can connect with families. I can reach out. You want to make sure that when you are reaching out, it is not just because of negative behavior. You want to connect with families. You want to check in on their students. You want to monitor their progress. You want to just have general conversations to be able to relate to these families and understand their situation. I suggest scheduling conversations with families in advance. Don't just call them spur of the moment, because if you're catching them at a bad time, the parent's not going to be able to talk to you as effectively unless it is scheduled. Ask families how you can help them. They see the students a lot more than I do. They are able to tell me what their child needs. Are they struggling in this? Is there extra resources you can provide to them? You can get a better gauge as to what they need based on communicating with the family. You can also encourage staff members who are doing this to continue, collaborate, and see what's working for them and what's not working for you. If you see others are struggling, assist them in any way you can. Practice two-way communications. So at open house, maybe have a survey out with a QR code, or email it out to parents and talk about when they would like to communicate, how frequently, with what method. So you don't have to be jumping around trying to contact parents last minute. And then reevaluate during conference night. My district does conference night every quarter, right after progress reports. And it's just a nice method of, after you talk about their child progress, just take a moment and be like, hey, you said you wanted an email every month. Does that still work for you? If not, reevaluate, see what's needed. If they see that their child is doing better, maybe you can lead off of it a little bit and not talk to them as much. And then moving forward, collaborate with families. If their child is struggling, create goals and monitor their progress. Have clear communication, be proactive in when you're communicating, and just set clear expectations and goals for their child. Again, check in with family progress and then collect feedback to see what worked and what didn't work for them. Was the communication too much? Was it too little? Whether or not you have this child, for the rest of the year, or it's the end of the year and you're just collecting general feedback from the families, this is only going to help you as an educator be better, and it's only going to help the next teacher who has the child have a strong relationship with their family as well.